Hello, it's Crinkle. Hello, one and all. Welcome to Tales of Harbor, an actual play of OVA on YouTube this time. I'm Wordsy, and I'm going to be your DM for this one. I mean, your MC for this one. And joining me are my three lovely friends, Public Open, View Drops, and Agnes Shakespeare. Say hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
Almost perfect, actually. Huh.
But not enough.
Oh, no.
Take it from the top.
Oh, hi. Welcome.
No kidding.
2, 3.
So, hey, everybody. We are going to be streaming normal Tales of Harbor this week. It is going to be a sort of...
What?
Yeah, sorry. Did I not tell you?
Oh, shit. No, Can I go home?
No. Your contract says you can't.
Oh, man.
You guys got contracts?
We need to move past this subject. So, we asked on Twitter for people to send in questions for the show to ask to us, the cast, in the DM, and to the characters of the world. And we got one whole heck of a lot more than I thought we were gonna. So thank you all for doing that. That was pretty cool. We ended with like something like 50 plus questions. So
What the hell?
we'll figure this one out. Huh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I looked away at one point and it was 17 questions, and I looked back and it was 46. And that was maybe the most terrifying thing I've ever seen.
If we do this in the future, I'm gonna give us more time to prepare.
Yeah, no kidding.
So if anybody doesn't mind, I think I'm just gonna get right into it.
Sounds good.
Okay. So a real easy one for me. For the DM, of the characters you've made for the story, who is your favorite and why? So that's a tough question, but because I don't want to show favoritism, I love all of my creations. And this
But
is...
Previously, I don't care for Timothy.
But I suppose I've had the most fun like writing and making the villains for the various stories and stuff we've done. Particularly, I love Annabelle Root and Theodore Lark so far. The things I have personally made. I guess added on to, because Theodore Lark is a B thing.
I mean, you put the flavor on him. I just gave him a background.
I seasoned him.
Yes.
But I like those two a lot because Annabelle is what I like to call my only foreshadowing villain. Which isn't true, but it's like I enjoy what she's already said and what she's going to be doing in the future. And Theodore is, outside of Piss and Ricky Smits, like the most visceral reaction.
Yeah, it's in the most hated poll. It's a real dead heat between Theodore Lark, a terrible father and capitalist, and guy who pisses on building.
Also have a strong, in-character hatred for
Theodore.
Buckskin,
Oh, Brutus, yes.
Brutus.
Is rough.
Ugh.
Yeah,
a wretched man.
just a terrible,
Wretched.
terrible creature.
I guess I want to know too, like, is there any NPCs that you guys like a lot or like kind of stuck around in your heads?
Oh, I mean, of Timony, of course.
Like,
Doesn't count. No.
I'm liking earworm.
I am eternal.
I love so many of them,
Mhm.
but I guess if the premise is also including ones that just happen to stick in our minds, I really felt pretty attached to Penelope.
Okay. I liked Penelope a lot too. Fun fact: Penelope was a recreation of Pauline from our D&D 4th edition game, which few people would know, but whatever.
Literally only us.
That's why I loved her. Just kidding.
Shakes. What about you?
Oh man, I'm so terrible with these kinds of questions because I fucking my brain just freezes when given them, and then I like 2 days later I'm like, oh wait, no, that guy.
Yeah.
God, the sheriff's deputy. I also am terrible with names.
Jesse Love.
Jesse Love, thank you.
Yeah.
Sheriff's deputy was a very wonderful character. The Wild West arc is definitely something that's probably stuck still pretty fresh in all of our minds.
Yeah.
As far as emotional ties go.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it was like the big it was kind of the first real big contained arc, where
Mhm.
like a real big multi-part story.
Yeah, and it was designed as such. Like that, I had to bring additional writers on board so I could like make it better. um, which I think worked out a lot. I really enjoyed
Hmm.
I guess also, and I suppose this is bias given my character, but I do love me some Gurman.
it. If you ever want to do the German voice, grab your whole throat and just
Yeah,
move it
just
back and
well,
forth.
it kind of that's like advice for people with Adam's apples. Technically,
true.
I guess it will still kind of work, but that's kind of the big secret for most of that.
Hey.
You might have to
I-
SpongeBob laugh it otherwise.
Yeah,
I,
you might have to like tap your throat otherwise.
it's a beat, it's a
Um,
beatboxing trick too.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's also a David Byrne thing.
Oh
Like to
yeah.
do that like that shit while he was doing it live.
Oh, David Byrne. Well,
Burning down the house.
not again. We need the house.
I'm an ordinary guy.
What did
This
they-
is not my beautiful house. This is not my beautiful wife.
Oh no. Uh, yeah. I guess. Did anybody else have a question they wanted off the bat?
I'll let you steer the
Take it
ship.
Okay.
Take it away, MC.
I'll let-
I wrote
Oh,
some down,
oh.
but I guess I could just like send them to you so you can ask them.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh.
If,
I'll put all the responsibility on Wordsy.
hello. I have many.
He's the MC
I'm. Yeah. I said I was gonna.
in the place to be.
I was just asking. Okay. So this one is kind of a fun one for everybody. For all the characters. It's 3 a.m. Saturday. Where are you and how are you feeling?
Home, thirsty.
What kind of thirsty?
Shut up.
There you go,
None of
everybody.
your goddamn business.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, Daisy is not about the nightlife. She's probably just if she wakes up at 3 a.m., she has to go to the bathroom.
Where
Uh,
Victoria and Zelwyn?
On nights where she isn't engaging in ill-advised duels, she would be asleep. It's important to be fully charged for the next day. Otherwise, who knows what could happen.
Such responsible answers.
Well, on the exact opposite flip side of that, so Victoria doesn't exactly have like a super set sleep schedule, so it's not like she's definitively sleeping or not sleeping at night.
Mm.
So I can't even necessarily say she's a night owl, but there's one of three things she's doing. First and foremost, I guess she could be sleeping. Second, she could be spending time working on her music. Or third, not too many places have a last call later than 3 a.m. She's probably walking through the McDonald's drive-thru on her way out of the club.
Why are you walking through the drive-thru?
She doesn't have a car.
You're
Yeah,
right.
you don't drive.
You're right. That's
Uh,
that was on my fault.
Yeah, walking through the drive-thru is a fond memory of high school hanging out.
God, I always wanted to. That was one of those things, just the gang of stupid friends.
I've only done it once because my sister showed me a video of somebody walking through the drive-thru ordering ice cream and then grabbing the ice cream instead of the cone.
Coning.
Yeah. So me and my sister.
Wow,
did
a
that.
double whammy of just
Double cones.
irresponsible of
It was.
irresponsible food service behavior.
I remember the lady at the drive-thru was like again.
Ah, yes, this shit.
It's such a fun prank, though.
It's pretty great. Victoria, got a question for you. What got you into metal music in the first place?
Is this one of those ones that you answer in character or out of character? I suppose for sake of for sake of comprehension, I could answer out of character.
Porque no los dos.
I suppose the out of character answer is essentially, coming to Harbor gave her a sense of freedom that she'd never really had before, and thus part of her exploration of that newfound freedom was experiencing, quote, nightlife. And a lot of that was dedicated to exploring the indie music scenes of Harbor and actually hearing different kinds of music for the first time. And she really resonated with really aggressive, high energy music.
As one should. That's just dope.
As one should.
Bright lights, big city.
Yeah.
I need to step out real quick, so just please hold my question.
I was literally about to ask you one, but okay.
Oh,
Not a
okay,
problem.
okay. I'll do a parting question.
Okay. This one is pretty simple. What is Daisy's perfect morning?
Oh boy, yeah, I saw that one. It's hard to answer these things in a way that just doesn't sound like the most boring person alive.
No.
Daisy is such a homebody, like, especially now. I mean, like, I feel like her like hobbies and career interests are like pretty outdoorsy all told, but it's like she still like just likes to enjoy things so contained and safe. So like the perfect morning is like the one where she doesn't have to actually get up and go to work, and while like being alone with her thoughts is a different kind of hell, it at least gives her the opportunity to distract herself with the things she cares about most, and that's like basically all she can ask for. Like maybe some time to like really steep like a good pot of tea, bake a little something, like just to have the coziest self-contained away from anybody in the world. Yeah, no visitors at all, by the way. she will turn off her cell phone.
It's the idyllic like spa self day.
Yeah, Daisy actually like would not be against just going to a cabin for a little while alone and just spending a month.
Just reading a book.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. All right, get out of here.
All right.
This one's for Zelen. How does Zelen feel about double-sided lightsabers? What?
Not as cool as having two lightsabers.
What? Zelen, why don't you have like two lightsabers? Like double-sided lightsabers, just lightsaber but bigger, generally.
Just a fancy staff. It's hardly a sword at that point.
But what if you had two double-sided lightsabers?
And that's why we love them, folks.
Maybe.
What is let's see. Ooh, would any of the main cast want a live action reboot of the Bumbo series?
I think Victoria might very much be in the boat of like aggressively tweeting about how much of a mistake this is.
You don't want like you don't want the Wetflix like, well, I guess it would be Samurai at this point to be like, and bringing to you the gritty live action remake of Bumbo the Dark Tales.
Yeah, 20 years later, and they're all upset that they're bumbos and they're trying to live in New York City or something.
So I don't know, when I was doing my pitch for the Bumbo show, how I imagined it, I was actually imagining it as hybrid live action animated or something, kind of like Sesame Street or the Muppet Show, where
Ooh, yeah.
maybe with no clear explanation for what the Bumbos are.
Something like that would be good, but when I think of like a live action like adaptation, I guess I end up thinking the worst, and that is my bad. But I think that would be really cool if it was like a Sesame Street or like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit style kind of thing.
There was, I can't remember what it was. We watched, was it on a 50 Shades that we had a weird digression into it, or was it one of B's streams where they wound up watching a bunch of like Teletubbies and then some other show that was kind of like that?
That was
but
on.
like,
I'm pretty sure that was on an art soup. Wait, I think it was.
No, we watched Teletubbies during.
Oh,
a sh-
Booba! It was Booba.
It was
Booba. Yeah, so it's
Booba.
like, I was kind of imagining the Bumbo show as, I mean, I guess we've like made it more plot based and Bumbo focused now.
Mm.
But my initial idea was something like that, where there's like real, children and like an adult host, and then, the Bumbos.
See, I like that idea. But I would want the Bumbos not to be costumes. I would just want them to be actual creatures.
Maybe it's like maybe it's kind of like how the GI Joe shows, where it's like there's the Joe parts, and then there's like the PSAs. So maybe there's like, you got your 11-minute Bumbo adventure, and then a 4-minute like live action animated hybrid section where the kids learn a lesson very quickly.
I just want you to know that the prospect of of Bumbos being just real things has given me two terrible possibilities in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
And that's either that they captured these Bumbos exclusively for use in a television show, or that they were genetically engineered specifically to be children's programming creatures.
No, see, that's the horrifying live action reboot.
Yeah.
MMT has bred Bumbos.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
no.
we've bred Bumbos for real, in real.
Hello, everyone of Harbor. My name is Annabelle Root, and I've come to tell you about our brand new initiative, Bumbo Real.
We have to destroy them. Bumbo real?
Bumbo Real. Speaking of real things that can experience stuff in real time, Zelen. Quick question. RPO. How would Zelen describe food or drink if she could taste it? Would wine snob Zelen exist in any universe?
I guess she'd probably like relate it to. She'd probably think of it in a pretty utilitarian way.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of like, oh, this is. She might not fully get into like, doing anything fancy with food beyond like going like, oh, this has nutrients.
It's similar.
This tastes healthy.
It's similar to the breakfast.
The breakfast was food for Victoria, so she was going to trying to go a little, put a little bit more thought into it. But I don't know, if she could taste, maybe she would discover like just an overriding love for something. But when if she like thinks about her, like, sometimes she probably feels pretty like wistful that wishes she could eat, but probably more for the social aspect of just she feels left out when everyone else is eating.
I'm sorry.
Zelen gets that taste chip like Data in that episode of TNG.
Oh.
This is awful. You want some more? Yes.
I was gonna ask this when Shakes had stepped away, but yes, right now, Zelen and Victoria, as the new employees at ASC, do you like your job? It's a little more than tense than most. The last part's just, yeah, it is. They fight evil more than you think.
It's Zelen kind of considers it more of the same.
Mm.
It's not too dissimilar from her last job. Just, you know, with like less, well, mostly less stealing. It's not exclusively theft.
It's called acquisition.
Yeah.
In cursive. I can hear the sparkles. Acquisition.
That
Um, for Victoria, she really likes it. Field work suits her very much. I'm sure it's relatively obvious that she's not well suited to desk jobs and paperwork. She gets very restless and easily bored with bureaucracy and mundane tasks. So this sort of stuff suits her really well. And she gets a house? Hell yes.
I just imagined Teresa Harper yelling, "Victoria, I want your glove and badge on my desk. You're benched. You want a desk job for the rest of your life."
It's a bad idea, but I think she would fight her for the right for her job.
Throw a punch immediately.
Maybe more like declare the duel at the very least.
Yeah, that's fair. That'd be how that would rock out the entire.
Just gonna kick her in the throat on sight.
Okay, so this one I'm gonna edit just a little bit. So the question was, what was Gurman's life like before he met Daisy? Was he from Harper? I'm also going to send that to Daisy. Daisy, what was your life like in Harper before you met Gurman? Like, what was Daisy up to?
I was chewing.
Daisy was up to chewing.
Chew on this
Oh, God.
question.
Yeah, I'm really chewing on this one. Been chewing on this one for the past. How long have we been playing this game?
Oh boy,
um,
a while.
I think I vaguely alluded to Daisy's being from more of a countryside.
Right.
I think we're inland, so it's not like we moved to the coast or anything.
There's
But-
no coast. Harbor is the landlocked city.
There's a landlocked city, and she came from an equally landlocked area.
There's a coast somewhere, though, right?
Yeah,
somewhere. If you go a direction, I'm sure
There-
you'll find.
there's a town. I have notes about the world, and there's a town. If you take the train out of Harbor, that is a coast town. I think I called it it was like a joke on being a not a port town. I think I called it like Minesburg or something, and it was the most tropical coastal city.
So it's
Alright.
official. We're going to the beach.
Beach episode.
We gotta go to the beach.
We gotta get, but we gotta bring enough for pretzels.
I need. Shut up. The first time I played that Kingdom Hearts 2, I grinded so much money because like we're gonna have a great time. I'm gonna buy so much food for everybody.
You're not.
Still pissed.
You're not gonna. You're gonna
Decades
stop.
later.
You're
Okay, I'm sorry. I need to see Zelen absolutely destroy some punk teenagers in a volleyball match or something though.
Oh man, when the rival college comes to town, you guys have to go to their spot.
Don't even go to college.
I mean,
Back to the original question real
Mhm.
quick.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot more to say on it, but
mhm.
I always pictured it was kind of just sort of a rural area. Not to just be outright Judy Hopps, but like kind of the country.
Mhm.
She
Oh, tarnation.
Willikers. Yeah, you know, if you get Daisy really drunk, she'll start slipping into her southern accent. Oh heck.
Daisy, oh no.
She. There you go. But no, I'd say it's more the weird kind of vague rural farm locale, less Judy Hopps and more everything Betty White says in Golden Girls about her past.
Okay.
Just kind of a weird small town that had weird things, and she's definitely the brain kid that decided to be like, nah, I don't want any part of this. Actually,
I'm going to
like,
get
no
an
hard
education.
I am doing anything else in my life.
I mean,
Maybe with plants. There was a lot here. Maybe there's more out there.
that's why Daisy fits so well into the old harbor.
Well, them country roots.
To answer the other side of the question, Gurman, I might be using this as a way to just dump lore at people too. But Gurman,
Oh yeah, lore.
yay, was just an old botanist who didn't really do a lot until he adopted his granddaughter, and then decided I need to more reliably make money, not just live off of like pension. So he opened a little store, and has been chilling ever since. Very happy with his gay daughter and their horrible robotic things next door. On account of the explosions.
Question for Gurman.
Oh yeah, what's up?
How do you adopt a granddaughter?
He adopted the woman who had the daughter.
Okay.
Also, family situations happen.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta take the kids of your kids.
Yeah. What you gonna do?
Yeah, I just mean
Okay, it did kind of sound like
in a vacuum. It just sounded like he adopted this girl and just said, "You're my granddaughter."
Lore, dump more lore.
TT, no, I saw that just now. No.
Oh dear.
That's for TO8. That's for Harbor Dark.
Oh god.
Harbor
After dark.
Tales of Harbor after midnight.
Ooh yeah. All right. Here. So I've been kind of saving this one because it's chunky.
Oh.
So this is kind of gonna go for everybody. This is a fairly big one. So number one, whether it be in-game or out-of-game expectations, what were you expecting when you started this campaign? I think we need to take this in chunks. So, guys, when we started this, when I brought it up, and like I think it was like right before or after 50 Shades, like what was your guys' expectations?
I guess. I mean, I've played in games you've run before, so I kind of like my initial expectation was kind of more of that, but I didn't quite realize how much I'd get into like the performance aspect and how different it is, kind of like also making a product for an audience and like the extra level, the extra steps to kind of work on that side of things.
Yeah, there's so much more.
If I may say something kind of cynical, I mean this in the nicest way possible, because I kind of, if I'm being totally honest, feel this way almost any time I start a new project, regardless of how much I think it is the coolest thing ever and I'm really excited for it. I kind of thought we would just sort of be playing and it would just be online accessible to people now. I actually didn't really expect people to really be tuning in and listening and reacting and drawing, and even the concept of a Q&A was not even remotely conceivable to me. So that has blown my expectations out of the water for sure already.
You should have seen me like a couple of hours ago when I saw responses like 17, and then I refreshed the page, as responses 46, and I just did a backflip.
Wow, 3 responses. That's pretty good.
Like, yeah, that's sort of how I felt. Like, if any of these got like a single view, or like someone commented once, neat, I'd be like, oh, we've made it.
we, we,
God.
we are the next Critical Role. Fuck out of here, Matt.
Move the fuck over, Acquisitions Incorporated. We're coming after you.
Who-
We want the
Dimension
gold,
20?
sucker.
Who?
But similarly to PO, I kind of, I've been in games you've done before, and I was kind of expecting that as well. But I must admit, like, I really want to give credit where credit is due. You and the co-writers of everything have been doing a phenomenal job. My expectations are already crazy high because I already know you're so good, but somehow they just keep getting higher. You keep making really cool things. I've been really amazed at Daisy and Zelen as well, and how interesting and complex characters they are, and how fun it is just to see them interact with any world or any character. I'm just vibing. I'm having a great time.
Fucking schmoovin' over here.
It's great.
Oh yeah, I definitely feel pretty similar to B on a lot of that. I mean, like, I feel like there was a baseline expectation, for sure, just because people do tune into us individually, and so it's
true.
just sort of like, hey, there's gonna be a few people like that, and the enthusiasm, to B's point, is what strikes me. Like, did not expect people to be so immediately invested in this, and that's just like exactly what you want out of a project like this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But that's more of a retrospective. For the time before it, I feel like my thoughts and expectations were rapidly shifting up to like the hour before we went live for the first time, because Daisy as a concept kind of grew into its own thing very late in the game. But I just remember from the moment where it said something about making this happen, though, I was like super excited. Like, I was locked in, like, ready to do this, because words, you were, I will say it like everybody else has said it, you are a good DM, and I like making things even in private games that I feel are fun for everybody to experience and satisfying, and that is very satisfying because you are very good at working with your players to make sure, even in games that aren't for broadcast, you work with your players to make sure shit is good and meaningful and works well for them, and you've there's ups and downs to that, and like any fucking improvised thing is, but like
it's hard to do.
it's hard as fuck. And so, like, but you generally knock it out of the park, and like, so the prospect of actually doing that, where people would actually care and be able to get in on the ground floor of what we're telling, was just exhilarating, and I'm glad I was able to sort of lock in what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Pretty, before we started. So that's a record time for me. I usually take a few sessions to do that. You never really know what character you're playing until you roleplay as them, as some kind of, like, I don't know, I saw that somewhere as some RPG wisdom.
I mean, yeah, to everybody's point, like, I guess for me, before we started, I was like, I think I before I typed into the chat, I was like, I think enough people watch between all the people who do streams regularly that it would be fun to have a couple of our friends show up and see the game that we put on the internet. But what fucks me up is, like, we hang out with people that watch the show sometimes, and in idle conversation, people will remind me of plot points. And I'm like, wait, people, you paid attention to that?
What? You actually, wait, you remembered something?
And like, my expectation before then was, people might tune in and be like playing a video game or something, and then after the show would be like, good job. I I have a folder full of fan art. I have I think I have 2 or 3 email folders from other content creators and stuff that I have worked with to get assets for the show. Like, it, not just the response from people who want to watch the show, the assistance that I've received, I could not have imagined. I thought maybe we were going to have to end up with a pretty slapdash put together look for everything too, but you know, through some question and answering, through people being genuinely like cool about stuff, it's I don't know, it I didn't expect us to be able to produce what we currently produce, with all of its trials and tribulations. But it's I don't know, I find it really nice. Also, thanks guys. I'm glad you think I am good at DMing. I desperately want to be good at it.
Congratulations.
You are.
Thanks. So because we have still kind of a big
Compliments. Have
chunk
some.
oh god, because we kind of have a big chunk to get through still.
Mhm.
What is the cast's favorite thing about playing in Tales of Harper, and what's the GM's favorite thing about GMing?
I don't know. This game sucks.
Oh.
What?
I knew it.
Damn it, no.
My favorite thing about playing in Tales of Harbor as compared to, other games we've played is like I did theater in a high school, and it's I've kind of been dormant in that department for I mean since then, but like I kind of with Zelen I went super overboard on emotions and just getting to go ape shit is nice.
I think you do a great job at it. As the DM and the person who is trying to work with his players to make the most satisfying story experience for everybody, I can say without a doubt, you have been very helpful to me in making a cool story. All of you have, but I could not, like, all the cool moments and stuff that happen in Tales of Harper, I can't make happen without my players providing me with like that good thick foundation.
What foundation? It's a Christmas goose. Well, I'm very glad if we give you good stuff to work with, and I think you've been doing an amazing job with the emoting with Zelen PO.
Thank you.
It's just thinking on the past couple of sessions.
I just hit the throttle until I make myself cry, and it's like, aha.
Done.
Aha.
I've done it. I've
Hit the throttle until you make me cry.
Oh no.
Yeah, a little. Like I feel like that's something I get. I want to hit the throttle on emotions in a lot of tabletop things, but I do get weirdly self-conscious about like actually getting emotionally invested in my performance to the point where I'd actually start kind of feeling shitty, or not even shitty, but like actually feeling emotional in front of people, and that's a weird hang up for me. Here's some free information about me. This is my counterproductive anxiety to stage performance in a way. But I wanna because I do love seeing people relate or get in there.
Yeah, get in there.
I like when people cry out in anguish as Daisy's past of just inactivity and slow degradation is revealed. Like, I want to make people feel.
I love to see the like oh no's suddenly just popping up
Right?
in lines.
Sick joy.
Getting the bits of like instant feedback to their performances, it is gratifying.
Yeah. I don't know how to put this. We didn't make a big sad world, right?
Mm-mm.
we
Just three big sad idiots.
we have a setting where, like, I described it as like it's fantastical modern, and you know your guys' job is like go get cool magical stuff, and we have had a lot of real emotional like moments that I hate you guys. Like, no, fuck you guys, because I'm I have to sit there and just DM the session, and I don't get to be like the entire time because I have to do work, and I'm mad.
I feel like, didn't you do that once? I don't know if it was the Tales of Harbor thing, but didn't you do that in some 4E session? I forget who caused it, but I know there was something you were like, "Oh damn!" Like,
It's happened a couple
probably
times.
a few times during 4E, but
Yeah,
God, there's
it's happened a couple
maybe it was
times.
the crumbling.
Oh, the
It might have been
crumbling was rough.
stuff.
Me and Shakes came up with a fake funeral for Goliaths in 4E, and it was we came up with the concept, and I was so sad at what the concept represented, because to an outside perspective, this funeral is being treated as a huge giant celebration because it still hurts.
It's
Still
about
such a cool concept,
natural
though.
end. Yeah, it's about natural end. It's about reaching the end of your life in one piece.
And it's
So that you may crumble
it's so cool, and
and take your place
there-
at the mountain.
I've hit similar highs in Tales of Harbor, like when Victoria followed Zell into a skate park to comfort her friend after she got her shit pushed in by a insane cyber like assassin lady, and
With an equally, if more not more, tragic backstory.
Yeah.
not to mention the flashback sequences from a little bit ago. I know I could have done it better, but Daisy's in particular fucking hurted me, and it's not even my character. I didn't do anything.
Oh no, it hurted.
Yeah, as
That shit hurted.
uh,
I'm not one to say it though. I made it.
I mean, like, I don't know. Zell stuff is very much. Well, I relate a lot to Daisy as a 30-something with a job that can be rough. There's some days where I really like it. It's helping people, and then there's other days where it's like, fuck. Ugh.
Yeah. B, you never got to answer. I'm sorry. We got
Oh,
all sidetracked.
no worries. No, I enjoy the conversation. I not to get too like off the rails, but like
The top.
obviously anyone who's followed like my art knows that I'm very character focused. I am obsessed with characters.
Mhm.
So my favorite thing about Tales of Harbor is the characters and their interactions. Like I said earlier, I love Daisy and Zelen. I love seeing them interact with each other or anyone or anything. It's really great. I'm just vibing, and I'm really like flattered that I get to partake in any of it with a character of my own. On the flip side of PO, I have no theater experience whatsoever. I believe I have less RP experience than a lot of the people here, if not all of you. So I do sort of come into this worrying that like I try not to be like a weak link here. I want to do my best. I was intentionally a little ambitious with Victoria. She's kind of out of my comfort zone. I tend to play more reserved characters or more logical characters, or for lack of a better way of putting it, like side characters. So someone who is bombastic and intentionally very egocentric and enjoys the spotlight is something that I'm very much not used to. And I'm enjoying that hasn't completely imploded on me yet.
I think you're doing a real good job.
I'm very happy if you think so.
I love Victoria.
I think a lot of our audience loves our three main characters a lot.
What? Nah.
You are incorrect there, but we sort of already answered the next one. Thought favorite and or thought about side characters. I mean I think about them all the time, but like the Crush Ball team, I enjoy them a lot. One, because I like a villain that is not necessarily a villain. They just are forced to be in a shitty situation. But B, this one's kind of for you. If Janet and Victoria formed a band, what would it be called?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm really bad at coming up with names on the spot. I might have to brainstorm with Spider on that. Though I think I'm more interested in what kind of music they would play. All I know is it would be loud.
It would be
So loud.
So loud.
I don't know. My off the handle idea is going to be Shrapnel.
Ooh, that's really good.
Got to put that in that like horrible, like branches incomprehensible font that all metal bands have their logos in.
Shrapnel. Okay. Question for Timony. What keeps you playing the hit new MMO?
Oh, Timony's here.
Yeah. What keeps me playing the hit new MMO Eons Online, and why not just play it offline? Oh, that's really simple. So I got a free trial from for the game, and it's pretty easy to level up in. So I've been playing with some of my school friends, and I got pretty high level, and now I'm working on like completing like the final areas of the game. So that's pretty cool and fun. Also, I've been selected for a couple of like special event things. Like I'm getting like a special headset and gloves for the game, so that's gonna be fun. And I don't play it offline because I enjoy the community aspect of it. I don't understand anybody that would play MMOs without playing with other people. Who does that?
What a performance.
Slow clap.
I almost believed it.
The trial's pretty extensive.
Yeah, it also includes the first expansion.
Weaven's Horde.
Hi, my name's Wevin, and this is my horde of protein powder.
Oh shit.
Okay, so if Daisy, Zelen, and Victoria were to play hit MMO Final Fantasy 14 with
let's pick this one. All right. Speaking of this joke,
with an extensive free trial in the first 60 levels with these first expansion weapons for, what classes would they play?
this shit sucks. I'm going back to RuneScape.
Which class has the best swords?
That is tough.
Dark Knight,
Samurai.
if you want big swords.
Dark Knight
Or
sounds
Samurai.
kind of like Zelen's shit.
Yeah,
Um,
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense. Worth what? Worth what?
What?
What you want? Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
It's the character with the bucket from Undertale, right?
Yeah.
That's
It's spot on.
uh,
Ooh. What would Victoria play? I feel like Bard is the really easy answer, but Bards use bows. To be fair, though, Victoria's also a ranged character. Let me think about. I'm going to say probably Bard, or maybe trying to think what she would like aesthetically most. Maybe
Dragoon is my guess.
I was actually thinking a healer would suit her pretty well too, though.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
Um,
she's into the support.
You know, probably
Motivation.
I was gonna say scholar, not necessarily for the book, but for the buddy.
Having the buddies be cool.
Having the
Love
buddies
buddies.
be cool.
She would have a thunder skin for her or something.
Oh yes.
All right. Daisy, do you have an answer?
I honestly, going back to RuneScape is probably her real answer, but I'll let me think here.
Mm.
God, I mean, Daisy is a calculated person.
Mm.
But I think even in video games, she probably wouldn't really, unless it's like if the game gives her the option of not really needing to fight,
Mm.
she'll probably take it. So I haven't I haven't explored all of the classes in Final Fantasy 14. I personally only played one of them. But
It's a good
you
one.
know, it's like a healing class or a buff class. Like maybe buffs over healing. Healing is a lot of responsibility, but buffs are just something you that people like
Mhm.
and are happy to have.
Okay, so
That might be Scholar too with the shields.
I think either Scholar or Dancer.
She would also just do it for the book.
Just have a dance partner and not
Oh.
dance.
Yeah.
Like not attack whatsoever. Just make a partner and throw a shield on and just sit in the back.
Here's your buffs. Get out of here.
Awful.
I'll just be over here reading my book. I set up a macro. It's okay.
Vote kick.
What?
Why
Why does this keep happening?
This one might be fun to answer in character. Okay. Zelen, do you have more today? I think that means say about the person who appeared in the truck heist.
In character. No.
Checks out.
Out of character. I think her emotion, her like overriding emotion on, the whole Ellen situation today is being kind of ashamed of the whole thing and just trying to move past it, and is just terrified that when it crops back up, it's going to destroy her life. That, and also kind of like the bad feeling that there's something I want to get into with Zelen at one point, where how she feels very like she finds something kind of humorous and also incredibly frustrating in the fact that all the bad things that happen to her, none of them are like punishing her for the bad things she's done. They're just completely unrelated. Like nobody's going after her to like bring her to justice for the crimes she's committed or the people she's wronged. People are trying to hurt her for completely unrelated reasons. And
Thanks,
if
DMT.
if it was the other way around, she might be able to deal with it better, but like she's just waiting for the other shoe to drop while the first shoe is kicking her.
I keep getting kicked by the shoe.
She's like, she recognizes, like, even while she was doing it, the whole Ellen situation was a bad thing to do. She was kind of at the end of her rope on it, and with distance, she's feels a mix of like she takes like some degree of pride in her like ability.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of her contradictions where she feels simultaneously proud of what she was able to accomplish and ashamed of having tried to accomplish it in the first place.
I am very strong. Oh, that's fair.
She like, yeah. So, just the knowledge that Ellen is somehow involved in MMT. She's like got this creeping sense of dread that like when it all comes to light, everyone's going to rightfully disown her as she deserves. Just to make it even sadder for a moment.
Yeah.
This gal's got tragedies built on top of her tragedies.
I am very sad.
Oh. To make it even sadder, Daisy, when your whole life was ahead of you, what was your major at Harbor College?
Why did you change it to that kind of question? Oh, I saw that question. That's not fair.
That's not.
That's very mean.
It was.
You're a very rude man.
I'm a bad man.
You go in the corner.
Oh man.
The mic in his hands. He's a bad man.
Doing everything I can. I work with my hands.
Damn, this is a hell of a mashup now.
Yeah.
Highway Badman. What the fuck? Oh, what was your major? I majored in botany with a minor in alchemical studies. I thought there was a second word that was different there.
Alchemical studies make sense to me. Daisy, you gotta make potions for the gang. They need buffs.
I mean, give me some materials. This stuff doesn't grow on trees. Well, I mean, except for things that do. Some of them do, but I need them in my hands.
I can't
Work
reach
with
them.
my hands.
Yes. Let's see.
I gotta make ends meet.
I am going to be selfish and answer some questions.
Daisy's
for me.
rotoscoped hands.
Just the motion tween it up.
So for the DM, is it more fun to have a player character stay in character, or for the player to circumvent their character's personality when they can figure out a puzzle themselves? Say a character is kind of dumb, but the player for them figures out a solution.
Boy, I've been there.
I struggle with this one a lot as a player.
As DM, I usually prefer everybody stay in character. But I only do that because I love seeing the circuitous route, how we get this character to this solution. I always find that fascinating. One, because I think it's cool. If I was in that spot playing, I would love to try and like figure out how do I use what I can do to get the same result. Like if I'm playing a very weak character and I need to get a rock up a hill, how do I get a rock up a hill? I can't lift it. I need to figure out a different way, and I love that's fun to me. As a DM, it's fun to watch that, but I know everybody doesn't want to do that all the time.
Like as a player, I struggle with this particularly a lot, because I try to have some character diversity when it comes to intelligence, and then sometimes I feel bad about making dumb characters because I feel like I'm over relying on other people and other characters to solve puzzles, wherein like you said, it's more so just compounding on the puzzle itself. You have to find a solution to your solution.
Yeah.
But it's just a little more complicated.
Yeah. I personally challenge everybody to make dumb characters. I think it's really good. Yeah, I think it's great.
I think it becomes more of a problem when I make a smart character.
Then you have to live up to it. Oh,
right, yeah, like
as someone who
I get instantly fucked on that one sometimes.
TT does too, apparently. I am not incredibly intelligent, so there's been a couple times where like I'm playing in a game and a puzzle will come up and I'll be like, I have no fucking clue. And sometimes in those situations I'm like, yeah, sure, I just can't figure it out, whatever. But there's usually a couple times where I'll have a brain blast and that'll be the key. Or I guess little side story, one time I was playing Pathfinder with some friends and we had to walk through a maze, and everybody stood at the entrance because it was a dark maze and they didn't want to get attacked by monsters. So I just walked in and picked, I think, I pick the same directions, and if you follow the directions I make, it's spelled open. And that was the solution.
Hmm.
Yeah, it it got me to the thing I needed to be in, and I don't know, like it feels cool to even if you can't solve everything, being able to just contribute in something, I think is great. Uh, I personally, I don't think there's really ever a player character who contributes nothing, even if it feels like it. I just think, like, when you get your moment, it will be worth it.
Puzzles are tricky. I have a hard time engaging with them a lot, depending on
Yeah, it's a weird.
It's a tough time. And
Hmm. I think
Tabletop puzzles are quite a thing. Sorry, B.
no
Go
worries.
ahead.
It's for me. It's not so much like worrying that I am not giving my character spotlight or that someone else is getting too much. So much as I'm worried they're like feeling forced to take the effort, because a lot of people who make characters who are supposed to be smart or analytical or logical, just naturally in character, are the ones who move forward with solving the problem first and foremost. And I feel like when you're playing a character who is supposed to be on the less intelligent side, it's very easy to take a back seat and sort of how people in real life could be, and sort of inadvertently take advantage of that by just letting them do their thing.
yeah,
And in context, I could feel that could be like an interesting dynamic, but like the thing I worry about is out of context, that I am simply like thinking you do that.
I I I don't think it comes up as often for me anymore, but it, like, if there's just a straight up thing I don't know, like in real life, I just go, I can't solve this, but I can probably think of a way to ask the DM how my character could start to solve it, and then get enough context to then solve it, or give someone else context to solve it. Like, I can
Yeah.
support the puzzle. I don't have to solve it. Yeah.
That's a really good. That's why you're such a great DM.
um Speaking of DMs, to the DM, has the story gone off the rails a few times? Yes. Um, I'm not.
Ooh.
I'm not sure
How so?
Well, I'll get to it. I'm not sure you were expecting. I'm not sure you were expecting a horse to be so popular. No. But it's super good. Thanks. How do you deal with curveballs the players throw your way? Palyers. Um.
Thanks, pal. Mine.
So yes, the story has changed here and there. I my strategy for DMing things is go in with a skeleton of what you kind of want to do, and then I usually write like 8 or a couple different like variations on that. And then if none of those happen, then it's time to start making it up and hope nobody notices. Um, I'm sure my players can sometimes notice when I'm starting to go, oh, we need to get to a different place, and I start like rapidly like session creating in front of them. Is that obvious to you guys?
Most of the time, no. Sometimes, every once in a while.
Yeah, same as Pio. On the rare occasion, but usually not too much. A lot of the times, I'm assuming what you might be referring to might come off as, okay, let's wrap up the faffing, let's go.
That
There's-
happens a couple bits.
So yeah, like to pull back the curtain a bit, there is like there is a vague bit of outline kind of ahead of the session.
Mhm.
Well, that covers some of the session. There's usually a few surprises for us to run into. But we often have like a vague idea, especially so we can like suggest to Wordsy, oh, I was hoping to get a scene where, this happens.
Yeah.
or interact with this character, and that can kind of we can figure out a place to put that in naturally. So like when sometimes we hit like the edges of the skeleton, and that's
That's
when Wordsy has to work the magic.
that is when a horse dancing troupe becomes a plot point. Um,
Sorry.
it's fine. People liked it. So yeah, like there's a couple things in the show that have cropped up that have been a result of like me needing a thing to happen, or me needing to give me time to let a thing happen while I'm typing and clicking buttons and going to a billion different tabs. I'm sure nobody will remember this, but back in the first job that they did at ASC, when the group went to the old train yard for the first time and they met Hollis and the gang, there was a voice that spoke to the crew before they went through the door for the fight, and that voice described itself as "I am the spirit of doors," which it is technically still canon. It just hasn't come up again. That there is a like over spirit that can open and close any door in Harbor.
I kind of forgot about that. I'll have to remember it.
That's fine.
Yeah, that man.
That
did
seems
I
like
zone
something
out?
I would remember. Did I Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. Did I step out?
No.
Oh.
There was the deep voice that happened with the door, and then there was also when they went to the school, there was the skeleton rib, because I was gathering some I was finishing stats for a fight possibly before, and then we met the Cody talking about shirts or whatever, and
Yeah.
but
Fucker.
I'm so
I-
sorry.
I
Victoria's nemesis.
uh, I made rib because I needed to distract them with conversation for a very short time so that I could finish some like mechanical stuff in the background. It basically I like it may be a little robot here or extra conversation here or there, but like during that time I am like in whirlwind mode. But yeah, there is a fair amount of improv that I do, that hopefully is hidden but behind the seams, as it were.
I'd say you do a fantastic job. Yes.
Thanks. Wine, I saw that. No, I'm calling this one out. Is that the Mandora effect? God damn it.
The Mandela effect?
Wowie! No, the Mandora effect.
Because it switches to okay.
Mandela.
I mean, the Explorer.
To you guys, how much did you plan your characters before playing them? Plan out your characters before playing them. Is there anything you would highlight as different from what you intended?
Let's see. Well, like I guess I did like quite a bit of planning about, or like a lot of thoughts about like Zellen's, backstory before the game, but I didn't really think too much about like what she was going to do next. I mean, other than eventually dealing with the whole Ellen thing. Like that was kind of the one big plot thread I brought to the table. But like the things that like her relationship with Victoria, and how incredibly important that is to her character was not planned at all. I mean, other than the expectation that the PCs are going to like each other and be friends.
Yeah, honestly, like the way they immediately really hit it off was very surprising to me.
Yeah, and like in terms of mechanical planning, I actually wrote down some things I intended to take like as at the first level, and I wound up not taking some of them yet, just because other like story developments kind of made me think, well, I think actually what she'd do is get stronger at this.
Yeah. Which is
I instead of becoming better at fighting, I gave her arts and crafts and one more level of skateboarding.
it's an important part of her character.
Skateboarding has become, ever since skateboarding was kind of like random as, what's an edgy mode of transportation that doesn't require, where she wouldn't have to have a car, and that was kind of what I went with. But like, ever since shortly after that, I did a short, or one of those little comics where it became canon that like Dr. Mari had her take up skateboarding in order to improve her coordination. It's not just a thing now, it's a character thing.
Yeah.
Skateboarding is life.
Yeah.
Skateboarding is not a crime.
Not really. Not anymore.
If it was a crime, she'd do it anyway.
I mean, yeah.
Hell yes.
I'm just
Do it twice.
Listen.
I got 2 skateboards. Shakes B. Did you guys do a lot of like pre-pro for characters?
Oh, I could go first if
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I guess the deep, somewhat irrelevant lore for Victoria is that some of her planning was repurposed. So I know I've mentioned it before, but I've never gone into great detail. Victoria was originally made for a Starfinder campaign, and her inspiration for her whole shtick was I was really inspired by a scene from Super Dimension Fortress Macross Do You Remember Love? Very long name. I do. There's a scene in the movie wherein the idol character is performing a pop ballad on the top of a ship while an entire fleet of spaceships is going into battle. And it was just like the coolest thing I'd ever seen. And when I was asked to be part of the Starfinder campaign, I was told that basically, spacefaring adventure. So I thought, oh, what if I had like, what if it was like similar to that scene, a performance idol, but their whole thing is that they actually are the fleet coming into battle. They are actually the combatant. So that was basically her thing, and she was built with gear in mind. More particularly, she was a performer, and I remember I gave her a bunch of grenades, just building her really stupid.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
She was she just had a ton of grenades.
Chuck 'em.
And that campaign ended up not getting more sessions. And when I was asked to be a part of Tales of Harbor, I had been thinking on pre-existing characters to use that just hadn't had much use yet. So I thought, oh, how do I repurpose this character into an anime setting? So I made her human. I guess I didn't need to, but I kind of wanted to. I shifted her from more technological gear based to being a magical girl. And other than that, I guess just a little bit of a backstory regarding how she came to Harbor and her family, but I didn't really do much else. And kind of like Shake said, I don't know if I really could have done much else because you don't really know a character until you RP them.
It's true.
Okay, after Shakes goes, I actually do want to. I thought of another thing to add, and I want to cycle back.
Sure.
So this is Tales of Harbor is a funny case for me. At least for anybody who knows me and has played tabletops with me. In that I am the minority and the only person who created a completely original character for this game. Not not calling anybody out. I especially because that's built in with me not doing that. But yeah, I had been thinking about the general haze of what Daisy is for some time at the probably towards the end of our 4th edition campaign at least. And I was thinking like, man, I'd love to do another long-term thing again. I tend to either reuse a certain character or make others, and they are generally pretty active and physical people. I feel like that's something I get that I just kind of get drawn to, usually in the form of monks and stuff.
It's cool.
But like I tend to get drawn to action characters. And I was just really reflecting on like, man, I want a long-term story thing with I just want to make something that's just the complete opposite of what I do. I just want to make something. I want to make a tiny character. I think my mind immediately went to rabbit because that's just the thing I picture when I think of small creature. And I want to make a little tiny rabbit. I'm gonna practice, my little bitty voice. And I'm gonna just really play against type. And there was one campaign where I played a version of my character Grace, where we ran Star Wars, a Star Wars themed game, and that version of Grace was also increasingly not a pacifist, but basically just a pacifist by right of really not wanting to get killed. So I spent that game firing my gun as little as possible and always looking to the environment and finding something to work with. She still kind of ended up murking people, but it was usually like in a way of just like traversing a space and figuring out something cool and environmental on her way to escape. And that spirit of that character definitely came into play for Daisy, and it's something I was very excited about playing in OVA for, because OVA, despite really encouraging you to have an attack to fall back on, I have persistently ignored that and just said and gave my character multiple traits that made her bad at engaging in conflict in a violent way, and just all sorts of things, because I desperately just wanted to play someone who does not fight and who solves problems and is more involved in a story-based campaign like we're doing. But like I said before, her form really changed like up to the minute. Like I think we finally locked it in maybe like a week before we went on. Because I had the general idea, and then everybody brought their characters to the fore, and that just completely sparked that, like, down to Daisy's age. like I was just
100.
like, everybody's, yeah, she's 1,000 years old, but I look 16. But yeah, and just her relationship, her position, like I knew I kind of wanted her kind of be like a stockroom kind of person for the company, but the idea of her being kind of a senior employee to newcomers was pretty much down to the week before and stuff like that. Like my general concept of this character until we started looking into the system and setting proper was just like, kind of like a rabbit. And that picture of the girl dancing with the mushrooms, playing tiny little instruments. That vibe. That vibe was all I had until then.
That's a good vibe.
That's all I got. I gotta turn off a stove.
Sure. P.O.
All right, so when Wordsy pitched like doing an actual play, he was like taking the solicitations for what systems should we do. So I wanted, like, I briefly ran a few sessions of an OVA game uh, years ago, and I kind of wanted to like take another run at it, and I thought it would be like a nice, refreshing change and like allow for a more kind of cinematic thing than D&D, when it comes to like doing stuff, kind of a more characters being more evenly spread between combat and non-combat.
Mhm.
And like before I ran that session, like I was brainstorming characters to use for actual play, because I think like the setting had been like alluded to. You're thinking of doing like a modern urban fantasy thing.
Yes.
And I had a different idea for a character, but like after when I ran the session, I kind of like, I was trying to come up with an idea real quick. I think I did this on just like a day or two of prep.
Mm.
So
It's good for data.
I went through all my old OVA notes, and I went through like, one shots I'd run before to like steal stuff from, and I had one that was about it was a strike one shot about recovering Ellen
That's
from a
right.
factory.
Yes, I played
And I
that.
thought, aha. And I had just recently like come up with Zelda, like mostly as a joke.
PO?
Just like, yeah.
I played Godric in both of those one shots.
Yeah,
Godric retrieved Ellen and Sally.
that
He's
is
the key.
canon.
He's the key to all of this.
Oh my god.
Finally put some respect on my short king.
That, and it isn't explicitly mentioned, but Godric is the key for how Ellen got any kind of lead on Zelen, because like it's implied that she was asking people, freelancers she knew, and he'd be the guy who could like, oh, actually, he'd know her. And funny story, I actually did like a job with another mannequin.
God damn it.
But anyway,
God.
After running that session and having like kind of on the fly coming up with Zelen's characterization, I was like, after that session, I was like, damn, I want more of this character. I can't let her story end here. I want more of it. And that's why Zelen was my PC in this.
Incredible. Okay. All right. I just need to get this one out of the way. Question for Hollis. What are the origins of the Good Citizen Brigade? How did it get started?
Well, Hollis?
Oh, you want to know how I started a Good Citizen? Oh, well, let me tell you. I seen somebody doing a bad thing. Didn't like it too much. So, got a couple of friends, and we did a good thing. And then we kept doing good things for people, Wanted to be real pillars of the community, make sure people had something to look forward to at night. Like clean streets and food for maybe the less fortunate. Yeah.
Started with murder. Got it.
Didn't murder nobody.
Sound like you might have murdered somebody.
Nah.
Sorry, cleaned up the streets.
Out of character. Hollis in the Good Citizens Brigade literally started in Harbor because Hollis, as a young greaser growing up, he legitimately saw somebody like on the street having a bad day, and so he was like, "Oh, I cannot have that happen." So he went out of his way to help them, and then got a bunch of his friends together to go help more people, and that just kind of compounded and grew from there. So like the Good Citizens Brigade is a gang of like 100 people who wear leather jackets that say GCB on the back, and they like go out in the night and pick up trash, and they are Meals on Wheels on motorcycles, and they go around town and like feed the homeless. And I had this idea in my head of a gang of people who only do nice stuff, but they have all the gang aesthetic. They are just cool people, and I
What's
love
the
it.
name of that? There's that like those bikers that
Yeah, I was
like
gonna say there's
The
biker
one
gangs that
percenters.
no, the ones who like hang out with foster kids and
Yeah.
Oh, the real life ones. I do not remember their name. But that story, like stories about them, is sort of what helped inspire the Good Citizen Brigade. Um, and I need to admit something. Um, so when I do this and I go, oh yeah, um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how people see that as sarcasm.
well, it sounds very sarcastic.
It's,
Well,
to
I mean, you started your first thing. I thought you were fully in on how that is like. Sounds like the guy who says, "Oh, we wouldn't want something to happen to your building," when he's implying that something will happen if you don't
well, okay,
do
so
the thing.
okay,
It's a very disingenuous tone
The-
when you're saying nice things.
this so this was explained to me the other night when people were submitting questions, because when I hear that voice, I don't read that as like disingenuous. I read that as curious, I guess.
Well, that's what
Huh.
it really is.
Hmm.
and that is why Hollis, because when I hear somebody go, yeah, all right, like I think they are either excited or they are curious about the situation happening, like, oh, it's this, oh yeah, like it doesn't read to me as sarcasm.
Sarcasm. I jump across a sarcasm to get.
So a bunch of people had a good laugh at my expense when I told them, wait,
Apparently,
people thought that was sarcasm, and I was like, no, that's not what I was going for.
when that you were talking like an old timey mobster who was about to wreck your shop if you
That
didn't
is-
give
Yeah,
money.
that's the exact same vibe I got.
See, I thought it was just funny because I think his voice is funny, but there's
I mean, it is.
there's a layer of joke that I didn't understand I was doing.
You were unaware of how effective you were being, I suppose. I am very glad that you got in on it.
Yeah, I'm sorry it took this long. I guess.
It's fine. I won't stop now, and I'm probably not going to change all this, but
I just feel like that's just his aesthetic. I just love that joke of him being it sounding like he is going to kick your shit in at a moment's notice because he's being completely disingenuous.
but
a punk, but like no, he genuinely is saying all the things he is saying.
like my favorite like Daisy moment was when she first met Hollis, and he was like, "Oh, don't want to do that. Don't want to tear down the stragglers of industry. Give people jobs, make money. It's good for the city, the economy." And just,
You didn't really clue in how that could be seen as threatening as he walked out of and confronted a small rabbit in the middle of a junkyard as a greaser.
I guess not. I didn't. But Daisy's response of just going kind of like you said, Daisy just kind of looks at him, and I imagine she like squinted her eyes and went, "Huh."
She started to be fearful and then was like, "Wait, what?" Like she was like bracing herself constantly, but like it would never come. What's going on?
Wait,
I don't understand.
it's like I very much enjoy like we get to name a lot of characters in the show after people who like retweet the show and spread it and stuff. And Tula, Hollis's second in command, is the daughter of Mayor Rose, also named after Tula Rose. And I enjoy having Tula and Hollis at that big like business meeting for all these important people.
And then these jokers are just
Because in my head, Hollis is in the corner going, "Oh, Samurai seems like a bad deal. Yeah, that's no good." Like because while I'm running the session, I have lots of internal conversations with characters in my head, like at places where the PCs aren't. And that is one of them that I have pretty regularly. Another one is between Name and Teresa, or Alex or something. I my brain is constantly thinking of like, what are these characters that the players can't see saying to each other?
Crafting worlds every second.
It's fun. Anyway, on to the next question. We got a lot of questions about like family, so I'm gonna kind of rapid fire these a little bit. To the cast, is there any family members we don't know about? We know about Dr. Mari, we know about Theodore. Who else was around the characters as they grew up? And to continue this a little bit, Victoria, when was the last time you spoke to your brother? We also know about Victoria's brother, Christopher. And are you still on good terms?
No. Victoria has not spoken to Christopher since she left to live in Harbor. She's on the same terms with him as she is her father, though. I mean, probably a little more amicable than that relationship, but I guess the implication being that they do not see eye to eye and do not really make attempts to communicate with one another.
It's strained, I imagine.
Yeah, strained at best, probably.
Shakespeare, any other family members that we don't know about? Also, B, is there anybody else we don't know about?
I guess just Victoria's mom.
Her dead anime mom.
Anime mom here. Oh no, she's dead.
Yeah, she's got the ponytail and everything.
Oh no.
I guess okay, sorry.
Well, I guess like I wouldn't say don't know about them. Well, I mean if you're up on the lore, if you're deep in the expanded universe, you know about them.
Read the short stories.
Yeah,
but the latest story did introduce Zellen's sort of fathers. They are also AI, but like made by people, and then they kind of broke free. But I don't know, Zellen wouldn't really acknowledge them. I've got a whole speech prepared for why she doesn't give them any credit.
Oh.
Damn.
And also Dr. Adam, who was very formative for her in a bad way.
That guy sucks.
He's not family at all, but kind of the most important figure who I expect to never actually show up in the main campaign. Though
Next week, Dr. Adam.
I didn't actually specify what was in it, but when Zellen gave Victoria, the note on what to do if like Zellen completely ran out of power during the
Old Harbor,
during the Old West, if she couldn't be, if she didn't turn back on with just being like recharged, Dr. Adam was like the guy to go see as a last resort, but with a very strong "do not leave me alone here" addendum.
Curious if that
Watch him like a hawk and murder him if he jumps funny.
That jump was weird.
Let me see it jump.
You sneeze, you die.
Huh?
Got the gun pointed right at you.
Regarding non-familial people, I suppose there are a few other key figures in Victoria's past whom are not super relevant, but I hope to expand on them at some point, at the very least, in a similar fashion to P.O.'s Stories of Zellen series.
Stories of Zellen expanded series.
I am
Now available on audiobook.
Oh, really? That'd be awesome.
Maybe.
I'm a working guy. Shakes, anybody?
Do you remember the number I gave you?
Yeah.
For this, because I never do.
I believe it's 13.
Yeah. So Daisy has 13 siblings and 2 parents.
That is very true.
I have not expanded on these in my brain whatsoever, but they're out there. I don't know. There's probably like a healthy portion that are still in her hometown, and you know the thing with rabbits is they.
Ooh, hey, I was
The
wrong.
fact of the matter for families like this is kind of you got to spread out.
Hey, you want to know a secret?
What the actual number is?
16 brothers, 19 sisters.
Oh right, never mind. It was very big.
It was huge.
Rabbit family.
And
Why the fuck did I do that?
and Daisy has an Aunt Kathy.
Yes, she has Aunt Kathy.
Oh,
You'll see me later. Next season.
I'm coming in. You can't get away from me. I'm coming in, dude.
In case he's the surprise guest for season 3.
You've been studying plants too long. It's time for that meat. Anyways, yeah, Daisy has an absurd amount of siblings that we'll probably never see.
Smothered in Dr. Webber.
I say
Who
that,
got
and
these
then
bunnies all sticky?
words will probably surprise me one of these days.
Name them all.
I have
Go.
plans.
I had trouble enough naming all the siblings of my other character who has too many siblings.
I have names.
That was a tough time.
All right. So, double check it.
Kathy and her big old dumps. Dumps.
Hey, Kathy, I think you eat too much meat.
All right. So,
Thank you for giving that such an amount of air before moving on.
I gotta.
You're wrong, Dad, with a response.
Okay, real quick. Let's do a couple. We gotta end. We gotta do a couple of these real quick. So, I'll do this one really quickly. Hi, Wordsy. I hope you're having a good day, and your friends too. Do you make the MH game and this one at the same time? I like both. I think this is one from my other game of younger players. Hi guys. I hope you guys. I hope you.
Hello. I'm sorry. I don't know how child appropriate the stream has been, but I hope you're having a wonderful day if you're listening.
They're teens, right?
I don't-
Not all of them. But
Oh, geez, man. Hi, little children.
we
You've
haven't-
probably heard a lot of bad language in your day. It's 2021.
That's fine.
Stop.
I'm not. We're not.
I'm just being real.
You guys should probably be in bed. But
I think you kids shouldn't get involved.
Don't make Wordsy call your parents.
I can contact each and every one of them.
You don't have a permission slip to watch this podcast.
Okay, so let's do
we love you.
some fast ones. What are the effects of Victoria's transformation? Like, what all does it actually do to her?
You didn't actually answer that previous question.
Did I not? Oh, I do not make them at the same time. I have different days that I plan the games.
Okay.
I make your guys' game usually on Mondays, the day before, and I usually make Tales of Harbor 2 days before.
Real professional.
I do it a lot.
Down to the wire.
Okay, regarding Victoria, so she gets the classic makeover that magical girls do, with magical transformation and all. She gets longer hair. She gets some color change to her hair. She gets a new outfit. She gets some gear upgrades. So the 2 guitars that she carries, the one that she originally started the campaign with, as well as the one that she got as a gift from the high schoolers, she is able to combine them in her transformation into a double neck guitar. She gets an assortment of hard, light, I don't know, paraphernalia. She has like essentially a band and a stage. She's got speakers, drums, keyboard, bass, rhythm guitar, whatever she really needs in that regard. She can make, I wouldn't say she has like light machines, but she like is the light machine. and she has sort of like she can make like phantom hands that she primarily uses to play her instruments. She also can fly, and I mentioned this only once, but I am still sticking to it being canon. She doesn't bleed when she transforms.
That's metal
it-
as
ever?
fuck.
No, it comes out as rose petals.
Oh, yeah.
And if it's a particularly large gaping wound, it will just look like roses on the inside.
My God.
I need to do damage to Victoria.
We need to fuck this girl up.
So-
See it.
I think I might have forgotten to mention it once, but there was one time I never explicitly said she de-transformed after a battle after she received like a significant amount of damage, and I wanted to make the off joke that if she transformed back, she would stain her clothes.
Because all the roses. Well, we got time. Real quick, Victoria, also, can you break glass by singing?
So first of all, yes, but everyone can. It's really just about finding the particular resonance for that glass. She has magical abilities and is also just very, very powerful. So yes, she can break glasses by singing, but her preferred party trick is breaking windows, but that gets her kicked out of parties.
Yeah.
She kept breaking my fucking windows.
Hey guys, want to see something cool?
No!
Yeah.
Breaks every window in the house.
Oh, shit.
That
was pretty cool.
Daisy, what is Daisy's top running speed?
Oh, fuck. I remember seeing that one too and going like, what? Faster than you.
Oh, fuck, got him.
Ooh.
Zelen,
I don't got numbers, I'm sorry.
Zelen, does Zelen ever need stuff like WD-40?
Yes. He, every once in a while, she kind of just has to, do some routine maintenance. Just it's, it's probably, maybe she involves Victoria in it. I don't know. It might be, she might feel weird about it. It might be too personal, but
Can you put
I imagine there's some things that are probably easier to have a second person do. I imagine like a lot of maintenance stuff is like on her back.
Get in the crevices.
I just need you to reattach these wires.
Please.
Real quick, guys, question I'm sort of curious about. Do any of the players have secondary characters? Does anybody think of other people they might have played?
For this campaign? I was curious about that question just for this campaign.
I believe so. That's what I'm taking it as.
I suppose it's safe to assume that we have played other characters in general.
Yeah.
Silly question. I have one idea. I feel like saying yes to this question is gonna just automatically be like but I'm not telling because it might show up. Also, it's not fully formed. I definitely have been kind of toying in my head of a character that maybe is a little more action oriented again.
Wow.
Just as an in fiction counterpart to the other character I play.
When we
that'd be fun.
When we end the season, I'll talk to y'all guys about that.
Right.
Go.
I haven't got them like fully statted up, but like if for whatever reason I needed to, I've got ideas on how I would build either Ellen or Dr. Mari.
Okay. Cool.
If Dr. Mari had to ride to the rescue. Or Ellen.
Ellen rides again.
B-Drops?
I can't say I particularly had anyone specific in mind. Another slight insider scoop to the makings of Tales of Harbor. I was the last person to decide on what character to play, and I don't know if I had my heart set on Victoria the whole time, but like I kept mulling over. I had sort of chosen her tentatively and kept looking at Daisy and Zelen every time Pio or Shakes would talk about their characters, and I'd be like, I don't know, is she a good fit? I don't know. And in the end, I just sort of decided that I would try it because Personality wise, she still brought things that the other two didn't, so I thought maybe they would balance each other out well.
Hmm.
Oh.
So in short, no, I actually didn't have anyone in mind.
Okay, we got it. That's fine. Maybe we can think of some.
Are you gonna kill Victoria?
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows? I'm a bad man. I said earlier. Is there a version of Costco in this world? Yes.
Costco.
Will there be a Tales of Harbor Nights Q&A? Possibly, if people are interested in that. If people are interested in more Tales of Harbor Nights, you should let us know on.
I'll let you know. I'm interested in more Tale of Harbor Nights.
Oh, well, fuck.
I still need to watch the first one, but I am interested in it conceptually.
Oh, speaking of watching stuff, episode 11 of Tales of Harbor is now live for people to view at your leisure.
And it's premiering tonight.
Yeah.
So I'm way behind on the diary art.
It's all good.
I gotta bank some out.
Let's see. How do you submit questions for the TOH stream? For this one, it was for this form. But next time, you
Silly goose.
if you, and for any time in the future, if anybody ever wants to send us questions, or just say hi, you can email us at talesofharbor@gmail.com, and I will give everybody the password again, but we will all be able to see stuff. So feel free to pop us over some messages. I like to see them personally, and you can always hit us up on Twitter and stuff.
At Harbor Tales or hashtag Tales of Harbor.
That's us. What are the major religions in the Harbor universe? All of them.
Oh no, the space pope is here.
The space wope. Thank you.
Weezus.
Weezus.
That's what Wanya is calling himself, right?
Yeah. Wordsy favorite word: charcuterie.
This is a good one.
That's
Very good word.
It's a pretty good word.
Delicious. But you don't like cheese though.
I don't. It's just a fun word.
2/3 of charcuterie.
All right. So, to end this off, I think we will do one final question.
There you go. End with a song.
Oh boy, hit it, Victoria. Whoa. What kind of movies does the cast of Tales of Harbor watch? Wait, no, I forgot. There's one question I need to ask before we do that one. Hold on to that. For Shake's Daisy, how would you describe your relationship with Teresa Harper? It seems like you two are
you
close,
went so long
but
avoiding
exactly
that one.
how close?
God, the Daisy Teresa, the Daisy Victoria, no, the Daisy Teresa relationship is very funny to me because that's definitely something I think. I'm not trying to be mean about it, but I think the audience has considered a whole lot more than either me or Words.
It's true.
And it's one of those things where you don't know, it goes hand in hand with not knowing how you're gonna
I always
be a character with that until you play it.
Yes. I fully support anybody who does shifts for the show, or has like our headcans and all that stuff.
Fair to be disappointed.
Please
Tell me who your favorite ships are.
I want to know. Which, please tell me.
I have a feeling I know them.
I want to know.
I want to know who's shipped with name.
Yeah.
The demon in the chair.
Or Baxi, the giant cat man.
Well, that's
Well,
Daisy.
Yes, Daisy, absolutely.
But the Daisy Teresa thing is definitely something I've given more thought now that we've played, and also people are like, what's this about? Like eyes emoji at our role play. It's implanted in my brain. By default, I guess the boring answer is that it's just they mostly just have a rapport of working in the same place for 7 years. I feel like anybody's gonna get close after that long, depending on the work environment. But clearly, ASC is pretty touchy-feely for a corporation.
I mean,
Primarily a
I
corporation.
specifically play Teresa as I needed to have a rich person to explain some shit in the story, and
Sure.
I didn't want to have Teresa be a millionaire. So I like Teresa has a nebulous amount of money, and she's a rich person,
That's
but
probably a lot.
I I play Teresa as entirely like out of her mind, and like she bought a whole like housing complex for employees to stay at
Yeah.
free of charge. Like I play her as caring about the people that she works with deeply, and at like Shake said, after so long, there is going to be something a little more special there than just, you know, I care about you because you work for me. It's Teresa and Daisy have worked together for a long time. Daisy knows when Teresa is why for whatever reason why Teresa takes performance reviews so fucking seriously. Like Teresa's performance review with Daisy in particular, I try to play differently.
that really
Mhm.
hit some people
Mm.
in regards to the subject, because they clearly have like I said, it's a rapport. Like, so they clearly know each other deeply to a degree. Though Daisy is definitely in the position of like I mean, she's very standoffish about relationships in general.
Mhm.
And Teresa is no exception to this. And part of that is just straight up denial, because they've been working together for 7 years and do speak pretty frankly with each other
Yes.
and stuff like that. But also, even during that performance review, Daisy was pretty, I'm not going to say dishonest, but closed, as
Right.
she kind of just has a habit to be now. And Teresa's practically using these reviews to reach out to her as a person, just directly.
That was
Um,
sort of the intention.
They do need to get drinks. Daisy's learning a lot about just being herself around other people lately, and letting people in. And so just, you know, hanging with Teresa is part of that as much as it is hanging with Victoria and Zelen.
Speaking of hanging with Zori and Zelen, a question I didn't see, but I'm gonna ask it because I'm emceeing this thing. You can't stop me.
Oh yeah.
Oh no.
Daisy, not Daisy. Po
Oh.
and B. How are like Daisy and Victoria after living with each other for a little bit after what happened?
Zelen and Victoria.
Oh, God, I kept doing it. How do Zelen and Victoria feel? Sorry. Because I had that big planned out thing with, like, you know, somebody told me about freaking like the week before I made a thing, and so I had a whole sequence where somebody used phone freaking on Zelen because it was awesome. But it was a horrifying scene, and it led to Zelen and Victoria living together under the same roof. How are they dealing?
Zelen is happier than she's ever been. I don't know how Victoria's dealing with it.
I guess similarly, Victoria's really, really happy. I don't think it'd be very apparent that it is different for her, but it definitely is. Victoria's not used to living in a sociable household. She's not used to being able to act freely around other people at home in a place where they can do the same. So she's having a ton of fun. But I guess the thing is, she might sort of always appear to be that way around friends. So I don't know how obvious it would be to Zelen how great this is for Victoria.
I think Zelen would probably like assume that, oh, this is a normal life for a normal person. This isn't anything weird for Victoria.
Right.
So
she might not appreciate how special it is for anyone else.
I don't know if Victoria's necessarily made like the big connection that the two of them are more similar than they may have realized in this particular regard. But that's largely just because she's not the most retrospective thinker. She's enjoying this living in the moment. She's enjoying just having someone to go do stuff with.
That's very nice. Okay, we have gone a little bit over time. So I want to thank everybody who sent in questions. Boy howdy.
Boy, howdy! Thank you all.
Yeah.
Did we still want to do the movie one?
Yeah, I'm gonna ask everybody. What is everybody's character's favorite movie?
Specifically, or you just want to go with genres?
What do you watch? What when you sit down to like it's movie night? What kind of movie are you gonna watch? Pick me a title and that'll tell us the genre too.
Victoria's not super genre specific. She will latch onto anything that seems to have high emotional stakes, though I guess she does really like action. So I would say maybe something like, I don't know, like John Wick, which is very heavily
Ooh.
advertised as this is a man on the ropes who lost things he cared about because people took them from him, would resonate with her a lot.
Would Victoria...
Wanjik.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right.
Wanjik. Would Victoria like Hardcore Harry?
I
Just make her motion sick.
quickly Googles what that is. I'm sorry.
It's an action movie that's entirely in first person.
Oh, that sounds neat.
It's very interesting.
I want to
it.
watch it. It seems
Oh,
like it might be disorienting, but I do
You guys haven't seen it?
genuinely see that shit.
No.
I only know about it.
Hey,
Gosh,
Tales
I
of
watched
Harbor
it
fans.
sometimes.
I'm going to host a Hardcore Harry night. I'm doing it. I love that movie. It's great. It's really silly, but I love it. All right, so Shakes, Theo, sorry.
It seems like a lot of fun.
I guess more time has passed in. I don't know. I think Zellen's probably still fairly still kind of dipping her toes into narrative media.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she'd probably. I don't know. I'm not sure she'd really get into anything that's too emotionally heavy. I think Great Mouse Detective.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm sorry, Pio. I'm directly laughing at you. I don't mean to. It's a very you answer.
I mean, it's
probably the most you answer.
I really like that movie, and I'm thinking, I was thinking Pixar, probably a bit too much of a bummer, and then even Toy Story,
Toy Story's a lot.
Oh, Toy Story's so heavy. Every single one.
Yeah, anything about an inanimate object being, alive, she'd
The brave little toaster.
Oh God. She
No,
would be
Brave Little
ruined by
Toaster
the
was-
Brave Little Toaster.
That movie's scary.
It's so
very
horrifying.
scary.
Maybe I don't know. I think action movies with a lot that are very violent probably might not like a kung fu movie. As long as nobody's getting their heart plucked out with the claw. Nope. Maybe not any flying guillotines.
No John Wick. Knights got it. Or sorry, one Nick.
I think I think it's One Wick.
One Wick.
Yeah.
One chick is sillier.
One Wick sounds like it could be a martial arts movie.
Kinda, yeah. You just spell it differently.
1 week.
Week.
Shakes. What about Daisy?
God.
The
I'm
Notebook.
trying to think how much of my own movie tastes I want to project onto Daisy. I do like a wide variety of things, but like, I mean, she'd probably have a real weakness for a good dumb romantic comedy.
Hey, there we
She's the
go.
kind of person who enjoyed Failure to Launch.
All right. I'm
Um,
into it. Oh, what the fuck was that?
What the fuck? What was that? Jesus.
I
Are you
laughed.
okay?
I don't think so.
I feel like as a bonus answer though, I think Daisy would also just be really into like binging How It's Made.
Okay.
Or not even binging
Ooh.
it, sorry, just like throwing that on as a comfort show.
Mm-hmm.
Just something about the fantasy equivalent of How It's Made and weird little mini documentaries about the intricacies of something.
Yeah, Zelen would get way into whatever the planet Earth equivalent is, just like a really pretty nature documentary, just where she gets to look at animals.
She's like Inosuke. Okay. I'm gonna answer this question too in 3 different characters. Timony would probably like.
Wow, it's me. Sorry.
Hey, it's me. My favorite movie is Emperor's New Griff. But
Good taste.
yeah.
Yeah, good choice.
I love that scene so much. Timony's favorite movie is probably the Bumbo movie in universe.
Well, everyone's favorite movie.
Of course.
Can't get
Gen
enough.
1 Bumbo.
All right, Jeff.
Original Gen 1 Bumbo
I
movie
love
is
your Bumbo
Daisy's
movie.
favorite. The one that was in theaters and starred like fucking what's his face, like Leonard Nimoy. They got a big name attached to it.
And an original song that is like grown so far beyond the movie.
Yeah.
All the Bumbos have their own rainbow connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Aw.
Teresa Harbor's favorite movie is probably some adventure serial bullshit. Like I'm sure Teresa is a gigantic Windiana fan. She loves the idea of high adventure, like, you know, swinging and fighting terrorists and stuff.
I have a genuine question about as a follow-up to that concept.
Mm-hmm.
Is she enough of a huge nerd about that she would then get into the older serials that inspired Indiana Jones?
Absolutely. If
Okay.
if you ever go to Teresa's house in game, there's like a big old like section that's just like Marlon Wando and like even older like black and white stuff of like just buff man goes to place and is like firing gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a big fan of those.
A
And
damsel in his arm.
and she replaces those with her, so she has damsels everywhere.
She's the damsel in this
No,
situation. Oh,
she's-
all right, Teresa.
She's covered in damsels,
Oh, I see. She puts her own
of
face
course.
over the
head to toe.
over the buff man.
Yeah.
Like it.
And then Hollis would watch Grease.
On the
He would watch Grease, and then he would watch Hairspray.
he
Hell
alternates
yes.
them until he needs to do something.
Basically, Hollis's apartment is like a futon, a TV, a DVD player, and 2 DVDs. It's Hairspray and Grease.
He just sits there and watches them. Oh, it's time to get to work.
Does he sing well?
Hollis, yeah, he's a great singer.
Oh, nice.
He just doesn't sing.
Real good.
Want to hear
I-
his YouTube covers of both movies?
But now,
Got a good set of pipes there.
there's nowhere to hide. And you push my love aside. All right. So
I feel like Daisy and Hollis would have a weird connection in that moment.
probably. But if you want to see more of those possible connections, you should perhaps tune into Tales of Harbor on Twitch every other Friday, starring Action Shakespeare, View Drops, and Public Opinion as Daisy, Victoria Lark, and Zelen Mari. Daisy Bunsen, sorry.
Full name, please.
Thank
you.
It's in your contract. I'm very sorry. So
I'll have your ass.
Oh, not my ass. So if you are interested in that, I would suggest giving the show a shot. If you want to help us spread the word of the show, we really appreciate it. It's how we get more people to view it. It's how we get interest drummed up, and it's how we show people everything that we can do. And you can do that by using the hashtag Tales of Harbor on Twitter. You can just tell your friends with your mouth. That's fun. And if you do end up tweeting out the show on Twitter, you might find yourself in the show as a character. Like a character we met at the end of last session, Lenny Limes, named after Lima B. Limes. Authentic wine flavor.
Sorry, I was thinking Johnny Be Good when you said Lemon Be Limes.
That's fair enough. Who will be probably appearing a lot more. In any case, thank you, B, by the way. Normally this is where I would say, probably not going to raid, but we can't anyway on this, I don't think. So,
No, not,
I'm
not
just
formally anyway.
yeah, you want to give us a Jakai?
No, absolutely not.
Aw.
Off the clock.
You're right, I'm sorry.
Be here.
In any case, thank you guys for showing up. Thank you for submitting questions. I had a lot of fun. I hope that you guys did too. This was cool.
Yeah.
Never in my life thought this would be a thing that generated this much interest.
Definitely. I'm very grateful. Thank you also very much for your questions again. I can't offer for everybody because obviously I'm not everybody, but if anybody had any questions pertaining to Victoria that they didn't hear answered, feel free to throw the hashtag Tales of Harbor on that and I could try to attend to those.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, you can always also email us further stuff. And my Twitter DMs are open, so
Slide on in.
Give me your questions. Give me your questions.
Your inquiries.
In any case, y'all all have a lovely night. We went a little longer than I thought we would, but I think it was a fun time.
Definitely.
Yeehaw.
Yeah,
Shorter than your average session.
if anybody has more Zelen questions, absolutely, direct them at the Twitter, and I will ponder them and respond.
If you want to know about our characters, pepper us relentlessly.
Please never stop. All right. Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
We hope you found something precious.
There we go.
Oh.
And with that, we're muted.